What is going on, guys? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and I am back here live again for this week's episode of NXT, the November 25th, 2020 edition. Took place once again at the Capitol Wrestling Center in Florida. Don't remember where in Florida, but again, I just know it's in Florida. And I haven't bothered to go back to look and see where exactly it is, but, that's that. It's whatever. So this is, of course, the second to last episode before NXT TakeOver War Games 4, and yes, I'm going to try to make card predictions this weekend. As I said in my AEW review, I'm going to try to make card predictions this weekend. Again, it'll probably be how it was for NXT TakeOver 31, or however it was. Again, it's just, when you don't know when the TakeOver is going to be, and they announce it very last second, and you have a bunch of other things on your plate, it's tough. So, again, I still like keeping making card predictions and keeping consistent, so I'll try to make them, even though most of the matches have been made official. I'll still try to make them this weekend, and also my TLC card predictions as well. So NXT this week wasn't too bad again. Again, like I keep saying, I'm getting sick of saying this. Again, NXT is not the same as it used to be. One week I'm gonna not want to say that because I'm getting tired of saying it. Anyways, but War Games is going to be a decent show. I think it's going to be a fun show. Some of the matches are going to be are what they are, but I think they'll still be good. I have faith in the show to still be, a fun one to sit back and relax and enjoy. I don't expect it to be a takeover to blow away my mind like TakeOver Portland did, but give it credit. It's going to be a good show. And for the most part, I felt this show set up pretty good. We did have a shocking heel turn from one of the two people I expected to turn heel, which gives a little bit more of a direction also for the women's War Games match, which I'm intrigued to see where it goes with that. And you also had, of course, a ladder match to earn the advantage for the War Games match, basically meaning they get the first. Basically, the advantage is the first. That team gets the first person to be added to the match once the 2 minutes and 15 whatever the heck it is runs up. So basically, that's that. I'm assuming we're probably gonna have that also for the women next week on the Go Home show. We'll wait and see, of course, what happens with it. But so far, there's 4 matches official. I'm thinking possibly a 5th one. Not sure yet, because the past 2 years they've made War Games only 4 matches, but I'm expecting maybe a 5th one. So we'll roll in and talk about this. And what's up, Tyler? Thank you for joining me live, man. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. And with that, we will roll forward and see what we got here. Again, I still have 2 more turn alerts, the SmackDown review, which I'm going to try to get them all done. Maybe we'll get them all done this afternoon. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. At 3 o'clock, I start making some mac and cheese. So I think I should have everything except for the card predictions done by the end of today, because I still got a party to go to later on, but I shouldn't be back that late to finish that stuff up. So we'll see. Maybe I'll get it all done tonight. Who knows? But let's get rolling here. So the show opens up, and it was announced last week that Wade Barrett was not going to be able to make it for this week's show. So who was there in his place? That's right, Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens was a special guest commentator, which Owens, of course, we all know is a very good talker. So I was intrigued to see by what he did. I thought he did a good job on this show. And also, Owens did his best CM Punk impersonation with a blazer and a tie over a t-shirt, which was quite priceless. Like the time whenever he sat on commentary for that one episode of Raw in 2011 when basically nobody else showed up except for Punk, Triple H, John Cena, and Sheamus. And that's how they opened up the show, with John Cena versus Sheamus, Triple H as a referee, Punk was on commentary because, the no comment thing the week before. Anyways, but our opening match is a match between Ember Moon and Candice LeRae. And of course, Candice LeRae, again, is the team captain for her team for the women's War Games match. And I thought it was a pretty good opening match. Towards the end of the match, though, when Ember Moon went to climb for the Eclipse, Kai and Gonzalez then jump on the apron. The referee, though, deals with them, and then but then Indy Hartwell, though, was still at ringside, and she had helped out Candice LeRae to safety, and then takes the Eclipse for Ember Moon, from Ember Moon, and then based off of the based off of the based off of crap, I lost train of thought there for a second. I'm sorry. Based off of the off that distraction, Candice LeRae was able to hit the Wicked Stepsister on Ember Moon, and Candice LeRae off distraction gets the victory. And afterwards, they go to surround the three of them. The four of them, including Indy Hartwell, go to surround Ember Moon. But Ember Moon gets some help from no one else other than Toni Storm, who looks to be, there to try to help Ember Moon out of the jam. Well, as they're heading back into the ring, Moon goes to dive in, but then Toni Storm grabs Moon by her legs, pulls her back out, and just starts beating. Well, she didn't really do that too much, but she basically just decks her, and she throws her into the ring steps, and then she throws Ember Moon back into the three in the ring, and then Toni just gets kind of like a crazy smile on her face as she watches LeRae, Dakota Kai, and Raquel Gonzalez, and I think Indy Hartwell as well. I'm not sure if Indy Hartwell, can remember if she was involved that much. Basically beat the crap out of Ember Moon, and Toni Storm turns heel. So I was like, okay, so yeah, so we have that shocking turn there of events there, and I'm a little bit speechless and surprised by it, but so we have the Toni Storm heel turn. Again, I kept saying whenever they brought them both back at Takeover 31, I almost said War Games 31, Takeover 31, I was pretty sure that either Ember Moon or Toni Storm was turning heel. And for the past couple weeks, they were starting to maybe lean a little more towards Ember. I'm not going to deny it, but they went with Toni instead. I mean, I thought maybe the turn wouldn't happen till War Games, but it happened beforehand, as it looks like Toni Storm's going to be the fourth member of Team LeRae, of Candice LeRae's team, and not, I guess Indy Hartwell's not going to wrestle inside the inside War Games. I thought she would, maybe just to give her a little bit of a push, because it seems like they are kind of interested in pushing Indy Hartwell, and I wouldn't mind. I actually do find her a little intriguing. This whole stuff with her and the Garganos was a little bit weird, but I'm not opposed to it either. I still feel to this day Candice should have dethroned Io Shirai. I still felt that was a missed opportunity, but I still feel like her luck has not ran out. Johnny's, I feel like is just dead in the water. I still feel like Candice still has that life. To me, Johnny does not. But I knew if the pandemic never happened, Toni Storm would have been heel months ago. That was the obvious direction they were going with Toni once she had lost that I Quit match to Kaylee Ray, and Kaylee Ray basically exposed more of the weaknesses that Toni Storm deals with. So obviously that was going to send Toni into a different down a different path anyways. So Toni turning heel, I'm totally cool with that, and I'm intrigued to see where it goes. Now I'm feeling maybe we're probably going to be seeing Toni Storm be the one to dethrone Io Shirai. It's possible. Wait and see. But so definitely a nice shocking turn of events there. Speaking of shocking the system, Undisputed Era is shown rolling up to the building. But before we get with them, we have Legado del Fantasma lounging. Escobar puts over how he promised he'd take over the Cruiserweight division on the main show, and it was defended on a takeover the first time ever. And they run down their challenges and whatnot, and apparently they have a new number one contender in Kurt Stallion, whoever the hell that is. So again, I don't watch 205 Live, so I don't know who the hell that is. So who knows? As the Undisputed Era, though, enter, Pat McAfee is on his show today saying he won't be here tonight, but he'll enjoy watching Pete Dunne kick some ass, and we get the War Games advantage tonight in that match. Adam Cole comes out on the microphone and he says, "Do I look dead to you?" Pat's been saying he took over, but they're still here. He's sorry, but Pat ain't here tonight, but Pat's a coward. He kicked McAfee's head off last week, which was a very nice, sell by McAfee, I'll give him that. And he can't wait until he's locked in War Games with him in 2 weeks. O'Reilly and Strong talk about how much fun last week was, but Cole says they have to focus on tonight. Kyle O'Reilly says that after Halloween Havoc, he needs to be the one to face Pete Dunne. Cole's for it, and so are Roddy and Fish. But in fact, he loves an angry Kyle O'Reilly. The era is already a force in War Games, as they've been in all 3 of the first 3 War Games matches in NXT for the men so far, but no one's faced an angry era before, and that's what McAfee and his goons are getting. And that is undisputed. Well, I don't want to mock the Undisputed Era because I love them, but that's how Pat McAfee do it, and that is undisputed. So it's going to be Kyle O'Reilly versus Pete Dunne, the main event, in the ladder match for the War Games advantage. And then backstage, you have an interview with Mackenzie Mitchell interviewing Candice, Dakota, Raquel, and she asks Mitchell to give them a moment, and then asks Dakota and Gonzalez if they're in, which they said they are, and then which Ray introduces her team, which is Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, and walked in Toni Storm, and Toni Storm is introduced as the 4th member of Team Candice LeRae. Toni says she promised we'd see a different Toni Storm when she returned. That's all she said. So her reasons why, still yet to come. Even though we had that nice, reflection video of her time off and whatnot. So we obviously, again, this was one we probably saw coming at some point, but yeah. But I'm for this. So that's the heel team. So we'll see where that goes. And then the Garganos pitch us some merchandise in a commercial, and Johnny knows a guy. He gives us a Black Friday code, blah, 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 all that. Then we have Timothy Thatcher versus Kushida in a pretty good match. Tommaso Ciampa sat down in the chair and watched Thatcher. And off a distraction, Kushida won by getting Timothy Thatcher to tap out to the hoverboard lock, which was, again, Ciampa playing his mind games and having Thatcher lose to his own game because, Thatch as Thatch can be, or whatever they call his school. Obviously, it just continues to emphasize how good of a submission specialist Timothy Thatcher is. And Tommaso Ciampa, just a mind games king. So, because of that distraction, Kushida beats Thatcher. And again, it's not been made official as far as I know, but I'm thinking if we do get a 5th match for TakeOver War Games, it'll probably be Thatcher versus Ciampa, which I'm cool with. Of course, the question is Ciampa a face? Is he a heel? Who knows? Because everybody's turning heel these days, and I just can't tell anymore. So we got that. And then Ciampa looks at the camera and asks if we think Thatcher's a problem with him now, which I'm sure he does. Then we get a recap of last week's classic between Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai, which was awesome. Then the ringside doctor talks about how beat they are, but then Rhea Ripley says she doesn't like Io, but she respects her. She doesn't know where she goes from here, and the Nightmare is here to address the rumors later of what's next for Rhea Ripley. Which we'll have to wait and see. Could be she getting called up. Is she staying? Who knows? Is she going? I don't know. But then, of course, since Kevin Owens is there as special guest commentator, we gotta have an episode of the Kevin Owens Show. So Owens, well, first, before we have that episode, we have McAfee's team backstage without Pat McAfee. Pete Dunne says he say what Kyle did to Finn Balor, but if he done it, he put Finn out for 2 years, not 2 months. Lorcan says that the era has never lost a War Games advantage match, but Pete Dunne is going to change that, and Danny Burch agrees, and Dunne says they're going to end undisputed. Kevin Owens, though, welcomes us to the show, mentions how he was back for War Games last year, and he's back to commentate tonight, which was an awesome surprise for sure, War Games last year, when Kevin Owens came out as the 4th member of Team Ciampa. Anytime NXT asks for him, he'll be there. And he brings out his guest tonight is the NXT North American Champion, Leon Ruff. So, Leon Ruff enters the ring all excited, and Owens says he knew he was coming back, but after watching Leon Ruff the past couple weeks, had to give him a chance to tell his story. Ruff says he's always dreamed of being a superstar, and it blows his mind he went from signing his contract 7 weeks ago to winning the title. Owens shows a clip of the belt falling off his waist, and Ruff says it was embarrassing, and Owens says the same thing happened to him when he won the NXT title. He was too whatever. Ruff laughs and puts over Owens. The belt is a yes for every no he's ever had, and he wants to be an inspiration to people like him, which I do appreciate. That story. I always appreciate that underdog storyline. But then it got a little hokey. Owens was like, "I hear you, but he needs to say it with conviction because people backstage sense weakness." And Ruff puffs up and boasting about how he beat Johnny Gargano twice. Owens is like, anytime someone says someone's name on this show, they show up. And he's timing it, and of course, Johnny Gargano comes out. Johnny's furious, wants to know if this is a prank show. Owens gets him a chair that he throws out of the ring, and then Owens gets another one. Johnny's like, "I don't want a chair." Owens like, "It's not for you," but then Johnny mentions Damian Priest and how he helped out Ruff, and Owens like, "Oh no, now Priest is going to show up," which I'm like, okay, it's getting a little hokey. So out comes Damian Priest also. Owens offers him a chair, but Priest's like, "Nah, I'm good." He taunts Johnny for losing to Ruff twice, and then Johnny goes after Leon Ruff, saying he can't beat him one-on-one. Priest mentioned, though, "I never got my rematch, though." And Owens says if only NXT had a Teddy Long to make it a triple threat match. Which Real comes out and makes it a triple threat match and throws in a playa in there as well. Which, okay, that got a little bit hokey, so we're getting a triple threat match between Leon Ruff, Damian Priest, and Johnny Gargano. I keep continuing to say this, and I know it's going to get annoying, but I'm going to continue to say this. I am all for this Leon Ruff storyline and making him a star, making him like an ultimate underdog. Basically kind of another James Ellsworth. Except I feel like this is gonna go further than James Ellsworth. Gotta continue saying this though. This is not the right thing for Johnny Gargano. I'm tired of ranting about it. I hate this heel run for Gargano. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. How do you make a guy one of the most beloved baby faces into this? I hate it. I'm done. I'm not going to keep ranting about it again. I hate it. I'm sorry. I hate it. Anyways, moving on from that, before I go off on a tantrum again about Johnny Gargano's heel run, we get a pre-taped promo from Finn Balor, talking about how he came back last week and set the stage for War, and he'll be ready for whoever wins. And who has a problem? He ain't hard to find. That champ works Wednesdays. But he also mentioned, again, the only part of his promo I didn't like how he's called himself the cat and said, the cat's back, and you don't want to play in my kitty litter. And I'm like, I didn't like that part. Don't want to go, this hokey stuff about the cat and my kitty litter. That's not Finn Balor. Like, that's main roster Finn Balor there. I'm sorry, I didn't really like that. But check the live chat before I go back. Who should feud with Finn Balor for the title next? Ooh. It's tough. It's really tough. I mean, Karrion Kross may be back soon. I hear he's doing well with his shoulder injury. It could be him. Dexter Lumis, maybe? Someone from the War Games match? I don't know. I mean, we've already seen Kyle O'Reilly. We've already seen Adam Cole. Maybe Balor and Dunn? Finn Balor and Pete Dunne? Maybe. I kind of like that. Yeah, Finn Balor and Pete Dunne. Let's do that one next. Why are they turning everybody here on NXT? Who knows? Heels always get the lead in War Games, for sure. Always need to go back to NXT. Still kind of feeling that as well. Although I did like what he did last night on SmackDown. I will talk about that later. The way William says War Games, yes, that's correct. His accent's pretty good. So we got that. But thank you for stopping a live chat. But we got that here. We also get another promo from Shotzi Blackheart's welding garage as she's in charge of her team for War Games. Then we have a match of Cameron Grimes and Jake Atlas, which Cameron Grimes wins. Afterwards, he celebrated to the moon till Dexter Lumis appears, and of course Cameron Grimes is afraid of Dexter Lumis, stumbles up the ramp, and then we see these videos of these art photos that Lumis drew of Grimes where he's screaming, obviously remind him of his horror from the haunted house match at Halloween Havoc. And then he throws out a strap, implying that he wants to wrestle Grimes in a strap match, that way Grimes can't run away. And at first, it's all good and dandy, until Regal books it backstage. So we're going to strap match with Lumis and Grimes. Whatever. That'll be alright. I don't know. It's not the best thing in the world, but that'll be alright. And then we have Rhea Ripley come out to address her future. She talks about how Io is one of the toughest competitors she's ever faced, but the hug after the match was not a send-off. It was just about respect. She's not going anywhere, and she's still coming for that women's title. Till she's cut off by Candice LeRae, who was with Toni Storm. Candice says Io stole 2 victories from her, but Io beat Rhea by herself. And as Candice is talking, out come Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez with Io Shirai on their shoulders. They obviously have beaten down Io Shirai. The Nightmare takes the fight right to the heels, but the numbers game got to her basically, and 4-on-1 beatdown, and basically they're all screwed. So it looks like, I'm guessing from what it looks like, I'm guessing Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai are going to be joining Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon to take on Candice LeRae's team of herself, Toni Storm, Dakota Kai, and Raquel Gonzalez. Cool. That'll be good. I don't know if they'll, because last year's Women's War Games was awesome. That was I believe that was my women's match of the year. I don't know if this one will top it, but that should be good. I am looking forward to seeing that one. Starting to lean a little towards maybe the heels winning that match, because I think it would be what we'll set up for Toni Storm versus Io Shirai. I love it. So that we could be seeing there. And then we get back from break. We see this weird, horror type promo with Boa and Xia Li in a car, wondering where they're going to, and then they get sent to some garage begging for forgiveness from a faceless figure, and she gestures and makes both their hands with black symbols, which see her eyes, and I'm like, weird. So I still don't know what that is. We're about to have Everrise have a match. We don't know against who they were, because out of the blue, we have the return of the grizzled young veterans, Liverpool's number 1 Zach Gibson and James Drake. Obviously, these guys were about to start getting a little bit of a push in NXT before the pandemic, because of course we all know them from NXT UK again. The grizzled young veterans, Zach Gibson and James Drake. So that's an interesting addition for the NXT tag team division for sure, to give them some depth. I mean, I've always said that, I feel like, this was only because Zach Gibson had no room for really a singles title or a singles run in NXT UK, so this team with him and James Drake, I thought worked out pretty good. They're a very good old school wrestling tag team, so them returning adds some depth. We'll see what it does. So they're back, and then we have this segment with Mackenzie Mitchell tracking down Candice LeRae as she's leaving. And she's leaving with Indy Hartwell, who's in a neck brace from the eclipse that she took for Candice. She sent a message to anyone who's stupid enough to join Shotzi's team. Next week, they'll make it even more clear when, Shotzi Blackheart's going to be facing Raquel Gonzalez in a ladder match. And then Johnny shows up to say he brought in the car. He's excited because the Power Couple are both going to win at TakeOver. And then we see, and again, it can't be Indy Hartwell, but we see another ghost face in the back seat. enough of this Ghostface joke. It's starting to get kind of old. So I don't know who that was. If Indy Hartwell was outside with the neck brace on, I don't know who that was. I don't know. Again. Stop. I promise to stop ranting about Johnny Gargano's heel run. I'm sorry. It's made clear. I hate it. I don't like it. It's not worked out. I thought it was a good idea at first when he first turned, but it didn't work out. It didn't work out. It's not working. Mike, you do not need to rant anymore about it. Johnny Gargano as a heel is not working for me. Whoever this Ghostface is, I really don't care. And then the main event, Pete Dunne versus Kyle O'Reilly in a ladder match for the War Games advantage. It was a pretty good match, but during the match, a masked hooded figure comes out and pushes the ladder as Kyle O'Reilly is about to win the advantage, and he rolls over into the announce desk. Pete Dunne recovers, and he wins the advantage. Could that's hooded figure been Pat McAfee? It's possible. Who knows? But we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, so Pete Dunne and so the War Games match, the advantage is the heels as always, and that's how it go off the air. And that was NXT. Again, some little nitpicks, such as again the stuff with Johnny. Again, I wasn't a fan of what Finn Balor saying that stuff about him calling himself the cat and saying playing in my kitty litter, but that's a little nitpick there. Good show. I gave it a B. That's what I gave NXT this week. What grade would you give NXT? 5 votes, 20% said A, 80% said B. Nobody said anything lower than that. Again, I gave it a B. Live chat. Where are we at? I would love to see Kevin Owens versus the Dallas title critic champion versus Finn Balor. I'm not sure what you meant by that. The whole thing with Boa and them will finally look like in a sci-fi movie. Wherever it's going with that, who knows? That's going to do it, guys, for my NXT review. Again, I'll take a brief break, get some lunch, do no turn alert, and try to do SmackDown before I go to my friend's party today. Basically, it's a November birthdays get-together. But that'll do it for this review, guys. Again, moving pretty along pretty good today. So, again, B for NXT. What are your thoughts? Leave us down in the comment section below. Slap a like on the video and subscribe or comment to my channel. Follow me on Twitter at DemandAirBonnie3. Until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll see you guys all in a little bit for the next video. Peace out, everybody.